We were born ready. My friend, it's such an honor, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Welcome back to Quebec. Welcome back to Baie-Saint-Paul to the festive. But for people wondering, who is talking to? Who the hell are you, man?
Oh, I'm a simple man from Ukraine.
That make a lot of people happy.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Eugene, welcome to Baie-Saint-Paul. Welcome to Festive. It's so good to have you back. The last time Gogol Bordello was here, it was kind of an apocalypse. People are still talking about this show. So a lot of people were waiting that. But before into getting that, I'm curious. Let's get back to when you were a kid. How did you start discovering music? And were you from a family of musicians or there?
Yeah, I basically got lucky. I got in through the back door. My father was a musician. I was exposed to everything there was to be exposed to. Yeah, I grew up listening to Jimi Hendrix and The Doors, and when my time came, I discovered even better music, which is called punk rock, you know, or so we claim better. So you know, art, punk rock, and I was also really exposed to a lot of classical music, and my uncle was a painter, well-known painter, so a lot of that kind of atmosphere, everybody's wearing dirty pants with fucking paint all over and a lot of long hair, not a lot of people wearing shirts, just that kind of atmosphere. And then I came here and basically reconnected with the same kind of evil in this hemisphere, so here I come, and then the band kind of was a snowball process of discovering and finding more like-minded characters, so kind of Gogol Bordello was formed out of that frame of mind.
It's always been a force because you embrace the world, like The Clash, and bring a lot of element which made Gogol Bordello so different. I remember the first time I hear you guys, it was so different.
Yeah, I mean, it was a kind of a very ambitious project and driven chiefly by the fact that by the late 90s, which is where was like the birth time of Gogol Bordello, back when I was a little baby.
That's so long ago.
Yeah, it seems so long ago. It was long ago and not. But back then the word on the street was that there was nothing possible to be innovative, to be created in world of music. I mean, by that time the whole punk and post-punk and hardcore and post-hardcore and techno and drum and bass and jungle and everything already happened. It was like, okay, what now? And there was digital hardcore, Alec Empire was like the latest thing in the air, and I just thought that just can't be right. I guess we have to reverse back to neo-primitivism and start with vibration of one string. And so I picked up acoustic guitar, for which I'm known now, but which was really not my first instrument by any means. It was the post-hardcore, post-punk rock, post-rave, post-electronic project, and which is why it sounds like this. It's kind of just start with the roots, start with clang, clang, bang, bang, finding, essentially just reversing all the way back into super primal music like gypsy music and the Stooges and kind of merging those two worlds. Yeah, kind of like that, and then bringing some classical elements into it, just because classical composers really figured out that fucking thing that's called arrangement, so yeah.
But the crazy thing is, you grew up in New York, it's a cultural place, and like you said, a lot of you think everything is invented, but you arrive with something that injects something new to the punk scene, which is the gyps punk, and back in the days, the folk was starting to get into punk rock. Yeah. You guys, Flogging Molly, and it created a huge... Yeah, it created a huge wave and so diversity into the scene. But did you feel that you were doing that, or it was just natural?
No, it wasn't natural. As I said before, it was actually... it was natural in the sense that we had capabilities to do it, because I was versed in, Eastern European and Gypsy folklore, and so I could kind of create a new version of it. But it wasn't natural. It was confrontational. It was confrontational in the sense that this notion that people settled in, okay, that we're living in a postmodern age, you know, that everything is just sort of ironic, gimmicky, you know, regurgitation of things of the past. And I was just against that. And, you know, being right there in New York, living in that scene and being a fanatic of John Spencer and, you know, and people who were really kind of the flagmans of New York music at that time, I still just didn't wear everything black and, you know, didn't subscribe to that established New York uniformity. You know, I still, you know, put it on its head and upside down, and because that's part of the revitalizing anything. You have to still, you know, it's just iconoclastic spirit is what New York to me is about. It's like a iconoclastic workshop at the end of the day. So uniformity rejected by me.
A good point is that you try to change things. And right now, when I see Emil in the sniffer, the chat, there's something happening right now again. The young kids are taking a mic, a guitar.
Yeah, totally. No, there is a good wave of, I would still call it post-punk, basically, like, you know, Emil and Sniffers and Viagra Boys, you know, definitely one of my faves, and Fontaines, you know, Idols, all that turnstile. Things are fairly innovative, you know. Something jumped forward where that playground of post-punk still became vital. You know, it wasn't just like, hey, we all love Joy Division, so let's do more of that. It was still kind of a significantly remixed situation. Yeah.
2007 was a huge year. That was the year you went on stage with Madonna. I was there with my brother watching that, and we were so fucking proud. We were like, it's like your friends getting recruit in the NHL team or whatever. It's like our Gyps Punks, what we were listening are, the world's gonna be aware. How did that show change your vision of the industry, and how much it's changed the course of Gogol Bordello? Or maybe it didn't change anything at all.
Well, you got it right there. It didn't change anything. It's not like nobody knew who we are, and then we played with Madonna, and Madonna fans start wearing Gogol Bordello t-shirts. Like, that never happened.
Start wearing purple.
No, we were doing our thing. We're playing to thousands of people every night already by that point, and it added to the momentum in some way, but it wasn't like a momentum that tipped us over and becoming some kind of a platinum, wildly accepted, mainstream band. Like, I was never interested in being a mainstream band. It would be kind of defeat the purpose of Gogol Bordello. You know, my favorite bands, they kind of never really became the bands. Like Sonic Youth is my favorite band, basically. And, they never became as well known as the bands they inspired. But Ramones is another one. Then, ultimately I'm a marginal kind of, as they call it, a marginal kind of, person. Like, I'm not interested in being a pop star. If I was trying to do that, I would be doing very different choices my whole life. I would move to LA after I was in a movie. I would do another totally different lifestyle. I would continue modeling and doing all these ridiculous things that are, you do that for 2 weeks and it's already fucking plenty, You move on.
That's a thing that punk teach you. Like, be humble. You're a servant of music. It's in you, and I think that when the ego step between the music and the artist, it's where you kind of lost touch with the reality. Because for my kid, they don't fucking care who I interview and who I am. I am their dad.
Right. They humble you. No, I mean, it seems like we read a lot of the same book. So you have to stick to what is authentic to you. And for me, it would be completely disauthentic to go out there and be a pop star person who's just, trying to get as many followers as I can. It's like, I'm not interested in that. Like,
Eugene, you should cut your hair because it's gonna look great on the next record.
I mean, as far as I know, punk rock was not about getting as many followers. It was like, no, don't follow us. Like, we're going to a cool show. If you're not with it, like, don't come with us. Like, please don't follow us. It was more like that. And part of the germ remains in the aesthetic of it,
Thank you for that.
It's not for, every dumbass to latch onto,
No, and like I said, the ego is something, when you're young and you get success, it's so easy to lust into that. But I think that with age, you know what you want, you know what you don't want. And I'm sure with Gogol Bordello, you saw the industry coming and you're like, nah, I'm going to make my choice and do whatever I want and be proud of that.
Listen, since I was 14 years old, I was putting out my own albums in Ukraine, which has absolutely zero fucking infrastructure for music.
No.
Yes, absolute none. Until this day, it really doesn't have any infrastructure. And, we learn how to do things in a certain way, relying only with our network of people who are enthusiasts. When I came here, I saw that on a much greater scale with Fugazi and Discord and, Sub Pop and Matador. And because this situation here, in the States, Canada, Europe allows for more of that to flourish. And we simply continued on that path. And it was right actually around the time when Nirvana blew up. I came right at that time. And I could observe that moment, what happens when music that has integrity gets put into a context which has no fucking integrity. And, you know the rest of the story.
The disaster happened.
Yeah. And at that time, I was reading and absorbing a lot of information. It was coming out, like Steve Albini wrote a great article that's called "Some of Your Friends Are Already This Fucked." And it was about what it means actually to work with major labels and what happens, how much fuck is there really they're given, reading on. And, because of that intel, we were able to continue maneuvering on our own way and building alliances with people from independent labels, like Sideonedummy became our basic family, exactly. Where Floggy Molly in 7 Seconds and, and Casualties and many other bands found their sanctuary. It was like that, so it all makes perfect sense in my world.
Yeah.
And this is not the world that's trying to get all the followers they can. It's
a quest for all.
It's a thing with a specific angle to things, and
and I think when you understand that, it takes so lot off of your shoulders, and you're just there to have fun and embrace that experience that it's life. And you mentioned like Nirvana and Sub Pop, they were influenced by DOA. DOA never gained the respect that they should have, but they fucking influenced those people. So it's all about what is your role in that huge puzzle, and accept it and embrace it.
Yeah. There's a lot of unsung heroes to that building that aesthetic, but it survives until this day. And young musicians come and the smarter ones align themselves with more of a DIY spirited operation, and their longevity that therefore is more guaranteed. Yeah.
Eugene, you played tonight. What's going to happen with the rest of the year with Gogol Bordello? Is there new stuff? What's going to be the agenda?
Oh man, hey, brother, you're sleeping.
There's always new stuff. You're always writing.
Yes, I'm a kind of a maniac like that. We have a new record coming out. It's mastered last week. This record is made with... Finally, I got to make a record with my favorite producer of all times, Nick Launay.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm saying. You fucking sleeping, brother.
Wake me up, man. Eugene, fucking wake me up. Thanks, Eugene.
So yeah, it was fantastic record. You know, the post-punk groove is there in a big way. First single is coming out in September. Yeah. And you know, touring Europe with Puzzle Panther. I'm very much busy these days with producing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sooner or later, I had to transfer my skills to. I mean, not being on stage, that's one thing, but being in the studio, and I've worked with so many great producers, you know, with Steve Albini, with Victor Van Vogt, did Murder Ballads, and other elements. Of course.
At some point you want to
of course.
share it because you skill it.
Of course. Rick Rubin, Andrew Sheps, you know, being bazillion of hours at the desk, at the mixing.
Do you remember when you were a kid dreaming of all about that and now being here? That's crazy when you think about it, but you hang to that dream and you did it. And I think that a lot of people restrain themselves, and you did not, and you push yourself even when there's time of fear.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I always just thought that I was reincarnation of Jimi Hendrix.
Maybe you are.
It's very simple. Yeah, I just wanted to make pyrotechnics with sonic pyrotechnics with my guitar and drums, and we had, you know, Band of Gypsies live concert of Jimmy on repeat for like 10 years.
So the bass of Gogol Bordello is on there.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is my most favorite musician of all times, hands down and hands up, and legs up and everything and whatever. Yeah.
The movie is shitty, but he's amazing.
See the movie.
It's shit. Don't. It blow everything. It's not that.
Yeah, but that's the vibe, you know. Dionysian madness, shamanistic, twirling dervish with a guitar that never left me, really.
Eugene, thank you for your time. It was such an honor. Have fun tonight.
Yeah. For the record, Jimi Hendrix is also my favorite musician of all time.
Oh, so we never talked.
Celebrate Jimmy tonight. We do a cover. We do a cover, guys.
We'll get around.
All along the Watchtower. But yeah, Eugene, you are amazing.
While I kiss that guy.
You know, Quebec is your second home, and come to Quebec City. We miss you. It's been such a long time. Such a long time.
Not like my 32nd home, but I'll take it.
Yeah, the world is your home, Eugene. Thank you. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Nutrition is what you need. No more inhibition. Set yourself free. Just let go. That's my only plea. I confront precision and